G'day there guys, Markee here, and welcome to a new episode of r/OhNoConsequences, where people are genuinely shocked by the consequences of their words and actions. With that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and let's get right into it. Cross-posted from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit 6 days ago by a throwaway account titled, "Am I the asshole for refusing to go to my sister-in-law's baby shower and the rest of the family is following?" So this started soon after my brother married Ruby. At the time, everyone seemed to really like her, and my older sister and I were a part of her bridal party. Her wedding was around 5 years ago. Soon, they were talking about trying for kids, and they were struggling with infertility issues. Ruby was quite upset, but it got a lot worse when my older sister, she was 26 at the time, got pregnant. Ruby was snappish and mean to my older sister, and people tried to be very mindful since she was struggling. When the baby was born, Ruby didn't send anything. I got pregnant my senior year of college, it was an oops baby, and I only told my mum because I was unsure of what to do. I was a heavy drinker at family events, and when I wasn't drinking, my grandma joked that I must be pregnant, and my face gave it away. That's how it came out. I didn't plan to tell the family like that. Ruby, in short, lost her shit at me. She yelled at me about how I don't deserve a kid and called me a lot of names. My mum tried to make her stop, but she yelled at her also and told my mum that she deserved the stillbirth that she had. What the fuck is wrong with you? The whole thing was horrible. When I gave birth, I posted pictures online. She made a post saying that some people don't deserve kids. She has not apologized. The issue? Ruby is pregnant, and she is having her baby shower. All the women in the family got an invite. I talked to my mum about it and decided not to go. My mum is also not going, and everyone seems to be following my lead on this. We all RSVP'd no, and my brother called me asking me to come. I told him no, and it started an argument. He says his wife has been crying about being hated by the family and wants everyone to make up. I told him that isn't my problem, and this is her fault. He wants me to suck it up and come still, and has texted me multiple times about it. I know if I don't go, no one else will, especially since my mother hates Ruby after that argument. Edit, because people asked, no, we probably won't have a relationship with the baby if nothing changes. I already don't allow my kid near her. I have a strict, if you're a dick to me, you don't have access to my kids. Sister has the same. Mum will probably not be a grandparent to the child either. She will not put up with someone else that she hates to have access to a kid. She's not that type of person. In the comments, DNCR Mum says, "Not the arsehole. What did your brother get for you and your sister when your babies were born? He doesn't get a free pass because of his gender. His wife treated both of you awfully and never apologized or made amends." OP says, "My brother congratulated us in private. It was really clear that this was only from him because she was making remarks in person, before oldest sister's birth, and online with me." Chitako asks, "Does he know what she said to you two and your mother?" And OP says, "Yes, he was there." Introvert Superhero asks, "How is she with you and your side kids? Does she pretend they don't exist, or is she mean to them? This is also an indicator of how things will be. If she's a mean aunt, but expects everyone to fawn other kid, that will be extremely toxic. It's probably best to tell your brother once and for all that until Ruby can take full accountability for her behavior, everyone on your side has collectively decided to protect themselves from her behavior." OP replies, "I don't allow her near my kid, and neither does my sister. I don't allow people who are dicks to me around my kid, which has been pretty easy to do since my mum doesn't invite her to holidays anymore. She doesn't allow assholes in her house." Those were her exact words. Frogs and Ferrets says, "Yeah, fuck that. If someone was that cruel to my mother or myself, I'd never show up for them again." And think about how the brother must have felt, hearing his own wife say that to his mother. Maybe not divorce territory, but damn does it feel close. If nothing else, he should have put his fucking foot down and had wife start therapy. But instead, he's bending over backwards to make her feel all sunshine and rainbows. You can't have a bully without the enabling. As much grace as I can give a person grieving, you still have to own what you've done, and words can never be taken back. She's right though. Some people don't deserve kids. Herself, it sounds like. Like, who says someone deserved a stillbirth? Also, by the sounds of it, she still hasn't apologized. I said horrible things and now they hate me. Woe and misery is me. I'm so hard done by. Can you make your family like me again? Pretty please? What a horrendous piece of shit. And I think this checks the boxes of OhNoConsequences quite well. Why is your brother just pretending that, this is water under the bridge right now? And he's like, hey guys, can you please come to the baby shower? I'm not going to do anything about her, really. I'm not going to make her apologize. I'm not going to force, reconciliation or anything. I'm really not going to do my part in all of this. But can you guys just, pretend she didn't say that you guys deserved a stillbirth? That'd be, a lot easier than doing anything about this. What a pussy. Genuinely not standing up to his pregnant partner. He should be able to do that and speak out against her given the circumstances. If she wants reconciliation, she has to own her shit and make genuine amends. Crying that people don't want to be around you isn't gonna do anything. If you're so fucking up your ass about not apologizing and being like, they deserved to have that comment thrown their way, then you deserve to be alone. Plain and simple. Anyway, our next post is also cross-posted from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit 2 years ago by another throwaway account, and it's titled, Am I the Arsehole? Mum said I'm useless, so I stopped helping. Hi Reddit. I, female 20, live at home with my single mother and 5 siblings while I finish university. I'll call them Abacus, who's a 23-year-old male, Bertrand, who's a 22-year-old male, Crumpet, who's a 17-year-old male, Dick, who's a 15-year-old female, and Eduardo, who's a 12-year-old male. Almost every day, I wash the dishes, load and unload the dishwasher, vacuum the common areas, drive my younger siblings to and back from school, and cook dinner whilst also attending uni. University, for those who don't know what uni means. I get no help from my mum or siblings, nor do I get any appreciation for what I do around the house. Last week on Wednesday, I came home late, at around 9 p.m, from university for those that don't know, as I was walking to my teacher after the lecture. My class ended at 7:30 p.m. Once I got home, my mum started yelling at me because I wasn't able to cook dinner. There was dirty dishes in the sink, and my brother Andrew had to pick up my younger siblings from school. I was upset by this, but she then said, "You're useless. You don't help out at all." And I got pissed. I replied back, "Sorry for being useless," and went to my room. The following day, I didn't drop my siblings off to school, which forced my mum to have to do it. I didn't make dinner either, and I stayed up at university, for those that don't know, up until they closed the library at 9 p.m. I continued to do this, and the house is now a mess, and my younger siblings have missed a few days of school. My mum and other siblings are angry at me. I'm just wondering, am I the arsehole? I feel like I'm not, but hearing it from my siblings and my mum every day is getting to me. Edit, I had to leave some stuff out due to character limits. Apologies for the weird formatting on mobile. So my family's from a foreign background, so my mum's beliefs are very old-fashioned. I live in Australia and in a location close to the city, so houses are quite expensive here. Rent is due fortnightly, so I wouldn't be able to afford moving out. I don't have a job, but due to a small allowance I get from the government for studies, Centrelink for those that don't understand, Ceno for short, I contribute $150 a week towards household expenses. I didn't include every single chore I do, but laundry is one chore that everyone does themselves because they all wash their own clothes. Female 15 helps male 12 out with this. I wipe down counters and I clean the kitchen after cooking. I clean the bathrooms sporadically. My brothers literally pee on the floor and don't wipe it up. Oh, that's a paddling. I encourage my little siblings to clean their rooms, but ultimately I end up tidying it. My older brothers are both employed but don't help around the house at all. They play video games when they're not working. My mother does not help me with my school fees. I've taken on student loans to pay for it. In the comments, Paris Talk says, "Not the arsehole. I went through something very similar, except I wasn't going to take it. I have divorced parents and one older brother who lives at my father's house. I go in between. My dad would do stuff, yes, but anything he didn't do, I did. My dad's reasoning behind only asking me to do things was A, you do it properly, or your brother doesn't know how, and or B, he works full time. Which, keep in mind, he may work 9 to 5, 5 days a week, but I was at school 9 to 3:30, had a part-time job, was on a dance competition team, and had to do homework. I'm just hoping you find something to relate to in my story. You're not the asshole. Some parents just take advantage of the child who is willing to do the work. OP replies, I do relate to your story. My mother just had the belief that girls are to do everything around the house and the men do nothing. OP says everyone around the house in that one, but I'm gonna guess that that's not what they meant. I've tried to talk to her about the situation before in the past, but she won't see reason. Jaytan says, your mum's a girl. What's stopping her? OP didn't reply to that. Bluebird Annie says, not the asshole and what? Because you're female, you have to do everything because your older brothers don't have boobs, telling them how to be useful? Tell the rest of them to get off their asses and hopefully they don't expect the 15-year-old to do it because she's the next one with boobs. Insanely sexist, and your mum needs to make everyone pull their own weight. Everyone is old enough to help. OP says, my mum unfortunately lives by the sexist ways of girls do everything while the men don't do anything. I've tried talking to her about the situation before, but she shut it down, saying that she provides a roof over my head. And there's an update, so let's get to it. This one was only posted 2 months ago. Thank you to everyone who commented on my original post. The kindness and viewpoints from strangers on the internet helped me more than I ever expected. After I stopped helping out with the house, I reached out to my university's student support services for advice. They helped me get a part-time job at the student help desk, which gave me a bit of financial breathing room. Around the same time, I broke up with my boyfriend. Meanwhile, my older brothers, now 25 and 24, continued to do nothing to help. I went back to driving my younger siblings, now 17 and 14, to school. Not because I gave in, but because I genuinely care about their futures. The breaking point came when my mum tried to get my aunt, her younger sister, involved by painting me as a disrespectful daughter. I didn't know how my aunt would react since they've always been close, but I ended up telling my aunt the truth. To my surprise, she was horrified. She opened up about how she and my mum were treated pretty much the same by my grandparents, and when they moved to Australia together, they talked about not raising their kids that way. My aunt offered to take me and my 2 younger siblings in, as she has no kids. Now I live with my aunt, and it's an hour's drive to uni, but the peace is worth it. One of the best things I've done for myself is start therapy. It's expensive, so I can only afford a session a month, but it's already doing wonders. As for my younger siblings, they're doing better. They keep their rooms tidy, they help with cooking, and they're both incredibly respectful to our aunt. My brother isn't relying on my sister anymore, and my sister is finally starting to stand up for herself. I've been reminding her not to let anyone, especially our mum, push her around the way I was. My siblings moved schools to one that's within walking distance, and they haven't missed any days. Recently, my brother, now 19, reached out to me and apologized for everything. He said he knew it was wrong how I was being treated, but at the time it didn't affect him, so he didn't think about it too much. We had a proper conversation over the phone, and things seemed to be okay between us. He told me he was planning on moving out to live with a friend, since our mother had started lashing out at him and forcing him to do the house chores that I used to do. As for me, I graduated uni. My aunt and younger siblings came to my ceremony. I didn't bother messaging my mum to let her know, as I've already been accepted into a graduate RN program at the hospital where I did my last placement. I'm super excited to start and to finally get my life on track. For once, I feel like my life is actually moving in a direction that I chose. And there are the consequences of bringing an ideology that you have personally been hurt by straight down to your kids when you recognize that it was harmful for you, but for some reason you decide, fuck it, I'm gonna perpetuate this anyway because I don't care. And the consequences of those actions are, for some reason, your kids flee and are able to live with your younger sister, and you don't get the courts involved and take those kids back from your younger sister. You kind of just let that happen. I'm seeing a plot hole here, but I'm going to just accept that this arrangement was better for her because she had 3 less mouths to feed. So, to OP's mum, I say fuck around and find out, and that's what you get. You get your kids abandoning you when you do stuff like that. Sucks to suck. Thanks for the update, OP. Glad to hear that everything is a lot better for you now. Anyway, our next post was cross-posted from the legal advice subreddit. It was posted in December 3rd, 2017 by user Blue Biscuit, and it's titled, "Contractor violated work contract and claims that the contract isn't enforceable because it's against public policy. The state is PA. So a contractor who'd I'd tasked with writing a college essay recently violated a contract that I had where he had to pay $10,000 in case I was caught because of his negligence. I've been suspended because the idiot just copied and edited a few random essays from the internet rather than give me high-quality original content that was stipulated in his contract. I wish to be spared the moral lectures of how cheating and all are wrong, as I've managed to justify what it's doing to myself and don't want your unlettered opinions. I won legal advice." The contractor is claiming that enforcing the contract violates pub policy, meaning that if I go to court, it won't hold up. This seems ridiculous on the surface, as it's nothing more than a contract to create written works, no different from any other. Do I have a chance of claiming the contractual damages? In the comments, Reggie G says, in regards to the unlettered opinions, or what? You'll charge us $10K if we give them? The Real Dark Cirque says, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. OP asks, what stupid games? Editor's note, it was actually typed like that. OP, the most clueless person to exist. Deleted user replies, he means having somebody else write your essay. It's exactly the same as just taking somebody else's work off the internet and turning it in as your own. OP says, that isn't a criminal matter, but rather an ethical matter which colleges and lawyers have very little ground to speak about. I apologize for using a different account, as I've forgotten the throwaway password for my original and have had to make a new one. And now for the update, posted in December 14th, 2017, titled, PA, lawyer charged me $200 for 2 minutes worth of work. Consequences if reported to the bar? Now this post was removed by the legal advice mods. They couldn't find an archive, so to summarize, since it's important to the story, OP, after being told that he has no case on r/legal advice, went to an actual lawyer who advertised 1-hour consultations for $200. The lawyer told OP that he had no case within 2 minutes, and then billed him the $200. Thinking this is unfair because it said 1-hour consultation, and the consultation was less than an hour, OP wanted to report the lawyer to the Pennsylvania State Bar Association, the governing body for lawyers in Pennsylvania, and asked r/legal advice what consequences the lawyer would face. In the comments, Yapumpapa asks, did the attorney say that it was a free consultation? OP replies, the $200 was for a 1-hour consultation, not a 2-minute one. Jay Bakeen says, I'm reminded of the old story of a couple who took their car to a mechanic because it wasn't running right. The mechanic opened the hood, switched 2 wires, and the car was fixed. He charged the couple $50. They complained that all he did was switch 2 wires. The mechanic replies that it cost $1 to switch the wires and $49 to know which ones. You paid the lawyer for his experience and expertise, not how long it took him to answer your question. And for the latest post, which was posted December 29th, 2017, it's titled, Law Firms Sent Cease and Desist Letter to Get Me to Stop Criticizing Them. Oh man, I can't imagine why. So ever since a law firm scammed me out of $200, I've been on a relentless campaign to criticize them, sharing critical posts that I wrote on them on all major social media platforms. I've even put up posters near their office warning people to be wary of their ridiculous billing policies. They seem to have sent me a cease and desist letter yesterday in an attempt to suppress my criticism, asking me to stop my campaign of harassment or risk a lawsuit for libel and harassment. I'm pretty sure this is ridiculous and that there is some legal mechanism to help me here called anti-slap, which I want information on how to use. Apparently, it pays my legal bills or something if I can prove that their lawsuit is frivolous. Could somebody explain to me how it works? In the comments, how did this guy manage to get as far as a university in the first place? Well, by paying other people to write his essays and other assignments, I would wager. Explains why there's no thoughts coming from him. I'm just incredibly curious how many lawsuits he's tried to file about random things in life that he deems unfair. What they were for, how they went, and if he's learned anything whatsoever since. The full body shudder that I just had when I imagined having to do a group project with this guy. When I die, I want my former group project members to be my pallbearers, so that they can let me down one more time. I especially love the final update. You just know that he managed to get himself in deeper with libel, because he obviously couldn't tell people what actually happened, then they wouldn't be on his side. Hey man, I was loving every second of it. I want him to come back with an update 9 years later and tell me how his libel lawsuit went and how successful he was with those anti-slap laws. You've got to be the smartest person alive, I think, to be slandering a law firm and to be harassing them online and in real life like that. Why did you choose to escalate at every possible turn here? Why did you choose to spend $10,000 to get someone else to write essays for you? Why not just be a normal person for 5 minutes and just stop wasting your time and effort like this? Because you're going to end up with a criminal conviction if you choose to live life like this. Because launching a public smear campaign over a consultation that you agreed to is about the stupidest thing I can imagine. Thank you for the story though, very entertaining. Anyway, our next post was also cross-posted from the Am I the Arsehole subreddit, and it's titled, Am I the asshole for refusing to let my sister's fiancé hold our baby after he openly mocked my parenting in front of my whole family? I, 30 female, have a 6-month-old baby. My sister, 28 female, has been dating her fiancé for like 3 months only. Dating her fiancé for— oh god. Oh no. I've only met him a few times before. Yesterday, we were at a family barbecue. I was holding my baby, and he comes up, already kinda drunk, reaches out, and I was like, please don't touch him. He's been fussy today. He literally laughs out loud and says, oh come on, you're overprotective. Babies cry. You need to toughen him up. Then he tries to grab the baby while I was holding him. I step back and he keeps joking, stop being so paranoid. Babies are easy. You just make it worse. Everyone was like laughing nervously, but I could tell that they thought he was being rude. My sister didn't do anything. I told my sister after the party that he can't hold my baby at our house or at any family thing. She got super mad and says that I'm overreacting and that I can't control people. I feel like it's about safety and respect, not control. Am I the asshole? In the comments, Mahu says, he was drunk, not the asshole. And you can certainly control who lays hands on your child. OP replies, yeah, thanks a lot. All these comments and the support really makes me feel way more confident about my position. I seriously appreciate every single one of you. My sons and their wives wear their babies when they're around people who don't respect their boundaries, who will grab them, kiss them on the head even while sick, try to feed them unapproved foods, etc. Those baby carriers are wonderful, and the kiddos love to be strapped to mum or dad. Yeah, anybody who thinks they need to toughen up my infant is sure as fuck not touching them. Even less if they're visibly drunk. OP's sister is an asshole too, for thinking her fiancé was in the right. Lol, the sister said, you can't control people. If you think I can't control people touching my baby, you're in for one seriously rude fucking awakening. Yeah, what the literal fuck? People are allowed to have boundaries and limits of what they'll accept from others. Hey sister, can you get your fucking 3-month situationship fiance out of my face? We all know this ship's gonna sink eventually, and I'd like to have as little disrespect handed my way as possible until that happens. That'd be nice. Oh, what? You're on his side and I can't control? You know what I can control? Your fucking presence here. Get out. Because I'm not gonna take this disrespect at a family barbecue. You and your fiancéationship can get the fuck out of here for this disgusting behavior. I don't even know this man. I think when people get in your face like that and start pressuring you with your child, it really makes me question if violence isn't the answer in some situations. I think people have just gotten so comfortable with openly disrespecting others that they're no longer afraid of the consequences of their actions. Because the consequences they received in this instance was that the sister can't hold their baby at their house or at any family thing. That was all, and she got pissed off for that. There are so many other parents out there with tethers so short that it's unimaginable, that it's not even a thought in my mind that this drunk asshole would be hitting the floor in 2 seconds flat for pushing people's boundaries like that. If anything, OP, you let them off too lightly. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, of course, but without further consequences, don't expect this behavior to just vanish overnight. And our next post was cross-posted from the relationship subreddit 10 years ago by the user Ruined Trip, titled, "My girlfriend, 25 female, broke up with me, 28 male, on the first day of our vacation. My girlfriend, ex-girlfriend I guess, and I just arrived at our resort today, and we broke up at the airport before we even took off. The whole point of our trip was to get away so that we could try to get our relationship happy again without dealing with work stress. But she gave me yet another ultimatum, and I called her bluff, and she broke up with me. She hasn't been in the hotel room, but I know she's going to want to get back together, and I don't think I want to. But yeah, now we're stuck in a hotel room together for a week." OP, my first question, what is wrong with you two? So what do I do? How do I make this not awkward? I don't want to fight with her, but I don't think I want to get back together. And we live together, so we'll have to deal with that when we get back home. In the comments, commenter 1 asks, "Yet another ultimatum? What do you mean you called her bluff? How often does this sort of thing happen? What was a vacation supposed to achieve? Why did you even get on the airplane?" OP says, "She just gives ultimatums for everything that she wants, and I'm sick of it. This one was about how if I didn't ask someone to switch seats so we could sit together, we'd break up." What the fuck? It's always stupid petty shit so that she can get her way. She does it all the time. I got on because I paid for it, so I wanted to come. Commenter 2, "So, why are you with her?" OP says, "I'm not anymore. The trip was supposed to be a last-ditch effort to fix things, but I just don't think she's worth it anymore." Commenter 3 asks, "I know if I throw money at her, her fundamental personality will change irrevocably. I don't get this mindset. A vacation is not life-changing therapy." And OP replies to that, "Lesson learned. She really hates her job, so I thought being away from it would make her happy, but I guess not. OP, you guys should get married and have kids. That will fix everything." Commenter 4 says, "Is there no way that you can get out of there before? Call your airlines. See if they can move you back a few days. If you can't, go out. Have fun. Get another room. Bang anyone who wants to bang you. You're single. Now act like it. Seriously though, get another room. In another hotel if possible, since you're adamant that you're done with this relationship. Good decision, by the way. It's better that you get as far away from her as possible, lest things get more awkward." OP replies, "They can move my flight, but it's really fucking expensive. So I'd rather not move it. I'll see if I can get another room. Kinda sucks paying for 2 rooms though. I wish I could kick her out of mine. Would that be wrong?" No, do it. Do it. When asked if OP can get a different room other than the original room reservation, OP says, "I wonder if that would be illegal. I will try to switch rooms. Hopefully they have something available. My girlfriend still hasn't checked in. So I called, and they said that I'd have to get another room for myself, and that I can't just switch or take her name off since she made the reservation, even though I paid. She can afford it, I think. Commenter 5 says, she's gonna come crawling back to you by the end of the night, wanting to come with you on vacation. Let her know what the fuck is good and keep calling her bluff. She ended the relationship over some bullshit, so let her deal with the consequences of it. And OP says, she already did. I was talking to someone I met, and she interrupted to ask me to come with her, where she asked me to apologize so that we could move on. When asked, did OP pay for the whole vacation? Can the ex afford to pay on her own? OP says, yeah, I paid for the whole thing. I probably won't cancel it though. I'm not sure how much she can afford to pay for on her own. Where is OP vacationing at the time, and can he leave the resort? OP says, probably. I'm in the Dominican Republic, although everyone says not to leave the resort. Why? What could possibly happen outside in the Dominican Republic in 2016? Can OP move out of his place after he gets back home? OP says, I own the house, so I'm not moving out. Anyway, here's the update. So I just wanted to update on my shitty vacation. The first day was really bad. I stuck to the hotel room for most of it, and when I finally went out at night, she tried to start fights and get me to stop talking to people because she thought that I was gonna cheat on her. The front desk person found me another room that was a huge upgrade, so I moved there for the rest of the trip to avoid my girlfriend. I guess she didn't stay in the old room either, so I'm not sure who ended up paying for that, but I was expecting a huge bill for shit that she charged to the room. It was pretty awkward, but I did my best to have a good time. I met a ton of people, and it was easy to make friends since everyone thought my situation was hilarious. My girlfriend never went too far. She would approach me a couple of times every day to try and work things out so that we can enjoy our vacation, and she kept an eye on me the whole time. When I wouldn't talk with her, she tried to start a fight, and a couple of times she actually screamed at me for everyone to hear. After it finally became clear to her that I was moving on, she stopped bugging me and she flew out a couple of days early. I ended up spending most of my time with a group that was there for a wedding and even attended the ceremony. I'd rate it a 7 out of 10 vacation, all things considered. I feel a bit bad about how shitty her trip was. I did some shit just to piss her off that probably wasn't necessary. I was hoping that she would be mad enough to just move out of my house before I got home, but she's still here living with me. And now I'm living in my own basement just to avoid her. I did give her an eviction notice, but 1 month is far too long to be living with an ex. My dogs have been staying with my friends, so I can make sure she doesn't try to take them or something, but her staying here is really fucking everything up. In the comments, can OP stay with a friend until his ex moves out? I could, but I worry about my house and stuff. I moved everything that I could down into the basement, so the upstairs is really bare bones. I'm trying to make her as uncomfortable as possible to speed up the process. Commenter 1 says, man, she sounds like a piece of work. She's the one that broke up with you, but also didn't want you to have fun. I'm glad you were able to have a good time regardless though. Good luck with the living situation. Is the place yours or hers? How much longer will you have to live with her? OP says, I don't think she actually wanted to break up. I called her ultimatum bluff, and she's just stubborn enough to follow through. But she was begging me to get back together after, and I would just need to apologize to her to make it work. It's my house, I own it, and her name isn't on it or anything. She has until mid-June to leave, but I'm hoping she'll move out June 1st. OP gives examples of his ex's ultimatums that she gave him. It's hard to remember. She told me to stop working out so much or we would break up, and it's only every other day for an hour or two. She said if I went to the beach wearing basketball shorts instead of a swimsuit, we would break up, because you can see my dick outline. It wasn't just ultimatums though. There was a lot wrong with our relationship. Commenter 2 asks, why does she get a whole month to move out? Is it a law where you are? Poor you having to put up with her for that long. OP says, it is the law unfortunately. When asked, does OP know what legal steps to take if the ex doesn't move out in a month? I don't, but my lawyer friend does. Commenter 3 says, Sounds to me like the breaking up was never supposed to be permanent. She was just using it as a way to get complete control of the relationship. She just wanted you to come crawling and begging on your hands and knees, telling her that you would do anything to get her back. And by doing it on vacation, she figured that you'd have no choice but to accept her power play. And when you basically told her to fuck right off, she lost her shit and decided that you weren't going to enjoy your vacation if she wasn't. And when that didn't work, she just bailed early. Talk about dodging a big bullet, OP. OP says, yeah, she definitely didn't want to actually break up. Breaking up destroyed her plans for getting married and having babies, and that's all she wanted these days. Oh, fuck, I called it. That's crazy. No, do not have babies and get married with this woman. Bad idea. When asked, did OP do something crazy to mess with his ex? OP says, nothing crazy. Since my girlfriend was following me around, one of the bridesmaids offered to pretend to go to my hotel room with me to make my girlfriend jealous, and I took her up on it. We ended up actually hooking up and were purposely handsy with each other for the rest of the vacation. What? 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 Commenter 4 says, so you're coming out of a controlling relationship by hiding in your basement? This seems like a great time to practice standing up for yourself. Don't be a doormat, especially now that you no longer are invested. OP says, well, I can't kick her out legally for job reasons, and all my shit's locked up in the basement, so I know she doesn't fuck with it, so I have no reason to go upstairs. It sucks, but it's the best way to do things. Commenter 5. Invite a friend to live with you until your ex moves out to protect yourself against any false accusations. Your ex sounds like a piece of work who can do pretty stupid things. If she files a police report with false accusations and gets protection order, you will not be able to enter your own house, and she would be able to live there for a long, long time. Depending on the state eviction process, may take months to years. OP says, that's probably a good idea, actually. Bro, the cognitive dissonance to break up with someone over an ultimatum that you issued and then begged them to apologize to you so that you can save face but save the relationship. What is going on? I can't believe they didn't break up before this. She sounds insufferable. Brother, how did you manage to even get to the plane with her? You could see how insufferable she's been this whole time. It can't be that good. It cannot be that good. You can't just be like, I'm going to get another week of it, see how we go. I'm just going to keep deflecting the craziness, and if she breaks up with me, then yeah, finally. I didn't have to be the one to do it. That's kind of how it's reading here. And look what's happened. Now you're in a really precarious situation, I would say. I would take the advice of those comments. I would get a security system installed all over the house. I'd get friends to come move in with you to vouch that you have done nothing untoward when her allegations come out against you. I don't think that's an if. I feel like that's a when, because I'm going to guess it would be like a few days before the eviction is going to go through formally. She is fucking crazy, and you are fucking crazy for staying with her for that long. You started this off crazy with the, man, she just issues ultimatums for everything. Bro, that's a warning sign. Run! What are you doing? Very, very entertaining story nonetheless. Thank you for it. I hope that now, 10 years on, you guys still have your happy little family. You have a house and kids. You went back to the Dominican Republic to celebrate your happiest memory together. And that all is good in paradise. That sounds like a win to me. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, comment muffin down in the comments. I'll see you later. Bye.